ಹಲವಾರು ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಗಣ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ನಾನಾ ಥರದ ಸಾಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಸಾಧನೆಗಾರರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೂ ಅಂತಹ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕನ್ನೋ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಗಣ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಿಕೊಡೋದೇ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ. ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ನೋಟ್, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಎ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಕೋ-ಫೌಂಡರ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ವಿಶಾಲ್ ತಲ್ರೇಜ್ ಅವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಅವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಎ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಶೋ, ವಿಶಾಲ್. ಟೆಲ್ us something about Dream a Dream.
Thank you for inviting me on this show. Dream a Dream is an NGO based out of Bangalore that was started way back in 1999, about 10 years back, by a group of 12 young people.
Okay.
The focus was to work with children from vulnerable backgrounds, aimed at developing life skills in them. So we're about 10 years old now and work with about 2,000 children, developing life skills through the mediums of sports, creative arts, adventure, mentoring, and fun activities with children.
Vishal, you just told us that Dream a Dream is an NGO. Tell us, what are the main activities in this organization?
Dream a Dream is primarily focused on working with children from vulnerable backgrounds.
Okay.
And these are primarily children who come from urban slum communities, whose basic needs of food, clothing, shelter and education are met.
Okay.
But what we realized is that what's critically lacking in their growth is access to opportunities and access to build critical life skills. So our focus is largely on empowering these children by developing in them critical life skills. And when I say life skills, these are skills like communication skills, creative thinking, decision making, working together in a team. So the primary activities of the organization are focused around developing these skills.
Okay.
And how we do that is through a variety of mediums. These could be sports, creative arts, mentoring based programs, could be through adventure based programs, could be through learning exposure activities. So these are the mediums that we use to develop life skills in the children.
Vishal, could you tell us more about the co-founders of Dream a Dream and how was it all started?
Sure. There were 12 of us who started Dream a Dream in 99. Most of us were young college graduates into our first jobs. Most of us had our own personal journeys. Some of us had volunteered in college. Some of us had visited some NGOs.
Right.
Some of us just had this need to give back to the community. So I think the common thread was that we all felt very strongly that we wanted to give back to the community. So Dream a Dream was primarily created as a platform to help bring young people together and give them an opportunity to contribute back to the society.
Okay.
So when we started, none of us came from an NGO sector background, so we were learning. Our first project was with a group of HIV positive and cancer affected children. Most of us used to go spend time with them on weekends, usually on a Saturday or Sunday, play with them, do some creative arts activities with them, take them out to the planetarium, the museum. The more we did that, the more we realized the power that we had in actually bringing about joy and happiness in someone else's life.
Okay.
And which is what gave us the motivation and inspiration to continue. One of the most beautiful moments I remember from those early days was when the counselors at the support center where HIV positive children were staying, they came back to us and told us that the children's health had improved.
Okay.
And we were surprised about what had happened. And they told us that the children, one, were more happier, which was speaking very well for their emotional health.
Wow.
And second was that they had started taking their medicines on time.
Okay.
Because only if they were feeling better, we would take them out on a Sunday. So those were some of the moments that actually inspired us to continue on.
Can you tell us more about the various programs at Dream a Dream?
Sure. As I told you, the focus of the organization is largely on developing life skills among children from vulnerable backgrounds. One of the things we realized very early on is that when you're talking of life skills, which is things like communication skills, negotiation skills, decision making, these cannot be built in a classroom environment. You can't bring children into a classroom and tell them, today I'm going to teach you how to solve problems in life.
Right.
It doesn't work. So we had to create fun and experiential mediums where the children could be positively engaged, they're enjoying themselves, and intrinsically these life skills get built. To give you an example, we use a lot of sports-based programs.
Okay.
For example, we have today programs in football and rugby. Any kind of team sport, if you look at it, intrinsically helps you build life skills. Intrinsically helps you build discipline, responsibility, teamwork, leadership, the ability to follow instructions. So just by giving them a consistent, sustainable exposure to a sport like football or rugby, we saw that these children started developing the critical life skills that we were trying to build in them.
Okay.
To give you an example, some of these children come from very violent and abusive backgrounds. The first time when we started a sports program, these children would use a lot of the aggression and the violence that they had to actually fight with others or beat up other kids. But over a period of 6 to 8 months, they started channelizing that aggression into the sport, and they actually became very good sportsmen. They became very good at the sport. So sports as a medium is beautiful, a medium to build life skills.
Right.
Similarly, we use creative arts and crafts. Again, we realized that creative arts and crafts are not only therapeutic, but also a very good medium for self-expression and helping a child understand, become more aware about themselves. So using a variety of arts and crafts modules, be it pottery, be it theatre, we use music, we've used collage work, used creating materials out of recycled paper. Okay. And what we realized is, especially in the creative arts program, over a period of time, children also develop very good concentration skills and attention span, which helps them improve their academic performance.
Okay.
The third program we've got is the mentoring program, where we actually pair up one young adult with a volunteer from the community, and they work one-on-one.
Okay.
What we realized is when you're working with young adults, especially children who are 15 and above, they are in that critical phase when they are transitioning into adulthood, and there are a lot of challenges and problems that they're facing. The mentoring program primarily gives them access to a community-based volunteer who can help them find answers to some of the challenges that they're facing. So the mentors actually work with these young adults in helping empower them to find their own solutions and make their own choices and decisions. One of the most high impact programs that we have is the adventure-based program, where we take children out on 2 to 4 day camps out into the wilderness. We at Dream Dream strongly believe that nature is the best teacher any one of us can have. So by taking them out into the wilderness, into the forest region, we put them through a lot of survival-based activities, be it trekking, rock climbing, camping on an island, water-based activities, through which they develop life skills, survival skills, leadership skills, negotiation skills. We also run a computer-based program where we basically build in them basic computer literacy skills, which gives them the confidence to go out and seek jobs, and gives them the confidence to say that I can go out and find jobs that where the computers are used.
Right.
So these are some of the programs that we run at Dream Tree.
How do you reach out to the children whom you work with?
Okay. We primarily work with children in the age group of 6 to 18. And as I told you, these children come from vulnerable backgrounds, so largely from urban slum communities in Bangalore, in and around Bangalore. So since we have largely focused on life skills development of these children, we actually partner with other NGOs. These could be shelter homes, these could be community centers in the slums, or these could be schools run by NGOs, which might be free schools or schools where they charge very minimal fees, primarily catering to a poor socioeconomic family background. So we partner with them and they give us access to the children. One of the key reasons why we do that is we believe that the school is or the community is an integral component of what we are trying to build in the children. And finally, we want the community to adopt the life skills based programs. So when we are working with the school, we're also working with the principal, we're working with the teachers and building in them the necessary skills to deliver these programs on their own. Or even start thinking around the critical need for life skills in the lives of these children. So in about 3 to 5 years, we would have actually transferred our entire learning to the school system. So we can then move out and go work with other groups of children. So we work on a very strong partnership model where the NGO, the partner NGO, becomes a very integral component of this.
Vishal, you have been speaking about life skills. How are they important to the development of children?
Okay, good question. It was, I think, around 2003 or something when we were actually re-looking at some of our programs and activities with the children. What we realized is that one of the big questions that was hitting us is that why are these children who come from poor socioeconomic family backgrounds not able to have a fair chance for success in life? And we kind of equated it to our own lives. So if you look at your and my life as children, one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing or where we are is primarily because, one, we had a good education, we had a good family support system.
Right.
We also had very good access to opportunities, learning
Correct.
opportunities
Correct.
in school, through peers, through our teachers. Most of us in school, other than academics, we've also been involved in a variety of things in school: theatre, music, sports, which is what really built our personality, which is what really gave us the skills to make choices in life, make decisions in life, to be able to actually build social systems, make friends. So we kind of realized that one critical missing link in the life of a child from a post socioeconomic background is this kind of learning opportunities, this kind of exposure, which we term as life skills.
Okay.
So life skills are defined as any kind of positive adaptive behavior that helps an individual deal with challenges of daily living.
Okay.
So they're really coping skills for life. All of us use it on a daily basis. You and me are making decisions, making choices, are making new friends, making new networks. So it was, for us, it was important to build this ability in this child that we are working with to be able to make their own choices in life, to be able to make their own decisions in life and rise above that cycle of poverty. Which is why we believe life skills are so critical for the development of a child.
Okay.
So when we actually go out and partner with another NGO, which is probably taking care of some of the basic needs of children, of food, clothing, shelter and education, the life skills intervention actually complements that and adds another layer of intervention, making the whole intervention holistic.
Okay.
So that the child actually has a very fair chance to success in life. This is what we are really trying to do.